Hello.
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 Hello. Hello.
I'm Papa Yo, and I'm with two of my friends. They're actually my grandchildren.
I just said about that.
And the one in blue
Me.
is named Patrick.
And I'm a Chelsea fan.
He is a big Chelsea fan, England soccer, and he's a pretty good soccer player himself, believe it or not. Next to him is a very famous person. It's my grandson, Elmo. He's called Elmo Yo. Just like I'm Papa Yo, he's Elmo Yo. And are you going to say hello to everybody, Elmo?
Hello, I am Elmo Yo.
He's Elmo Yo, and he's a ham.
He eats ham a lot.
He's famous because he won first place in his grammar school. Have an invention contest, and he won first place. Then he went to the state of New Hampshire, and he actually won first place at the state level too. So
Not first place, but he won.
He's
something.
a pretty clever guy. We were trying to figure out
What we should do.
how to talk about telling a story. How would we go
Yeah,
about
it's
it?
our story time. Have you ever fell out of a plane?
Have I ever fell out of a plane?
Yeah.
What kind of a question is that?
I don't know. But
Well, actually, I did fall out of a plane once.
wow.
And it's a very, very scary
experience.
Yes. Nana and I were flying from New Hampshire to Boston to California.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually took the northern route, which is flying over the Great Lakes. And it was in the wintertime. Not winter, but it was like March or April, starting to get warm. And there was a lot of bad weather and thunderstorms. But we went, and the ride was bumpy, and the pilot had the sign on, seatbelt sign. You weren't allowed to leave your seat, and there was lightning outside and flashes, and there was a lot of clouds, and sometimes we were flying through the clouds, and the clouds would light up with the flashes of lightning. It was bumpy. And the bumpy part, the lightning wasn't scary as much as the bump, and the plane would tilt this way and it would tilt that way, and you didn't know what was about to happen. It bumped so much that I had to go to the bathroom real bad. I had to take a pee. And finally I saw a seatbelt was on, so I said, what am I going to do? And finally I saw a person go up, talk to the stewardess, and went in, so I said, I'm going up. I get up right behind that person. I'm standing there, and the stewardess says, you got to sit down, get your seatbelt on. I said, I'm dying. I've got to use the facilities here. And she says, and I said, I really have to. She says, okay. And so she's off standing over here, and I'm standing sort of waiting for the door to open. And we could hear this rattling, cracking, rattling, crackling. As some of the plane, like you'd lift off your feet and almost hit the ceiling with your head. And finally, the door blew right off the plane. And because the cabin is pressurized, they keep the cabin a lot of pressure. And outside the plane, there's no pressure. At a high altitude, there's very, very little air out there. The planes fly up at that level because there's less friction. Just like when you open a bottle of soda, all the soda wants to come out because it's under a lot of pressure. And so what happens, like in an instant, without even knowing what was happening, I was sucked out of the airplane. Now, I was holding my briefcase. It's a big, heavy briefcase.
Oh, and wait, was it
where are you going?
Was it this one?
It was one that was very much like that. In it, I kept my computer, and I had an umbrella, and I carried a blanket in there. So I was holding it. I didn't want to leave it in the seat because it was bumping so much, and so I just wanted to hang on to it, and because I had my camera in there and a few things like that, and I don't like to leave it. So I got sucked out of the plane like in a flash. And I saw the stewardess, she was getting sucked out, but she had these straps, when they sit down, and her seat was right in front of me, and her hand slid in, so she was able to hold on because her hand was in the strap, feet were out. But the pressure, that blast, only lasts for a couple of seconds. And then all the air, in fact, not only all the air, but all the cups and all the paper plates and all the candies that people were eating and the cookies and crackers, everything got sucked out of the plane. Nobody got sucked out but me, because they all had their seatbelts on. And the stewardess was lucky, and the other person was in the bathroom. They couldn't, the door was closed, and they couldn't get sucked out. But I got sucked out, and I said, I'm dead. I'm dying. And as I'm falling, and I'm going tumbling, and my wife was panicked. Nana Carol was, so I'm tumbling, and she's crying, and she thinks I'm dead, and everybody thinks. And they report it, and I'm tumbling and tumbling, and I'm holding onto my bag.
What did they do to the door?
The door fell off. I don't know, just gone. This door was gone.
Did they do something about it?
No, they can't. The plane immediately goes into a descent, gets down to lower pressure, and where you can breathe. Does the oxygen mask come out because there's no air up there? So the plane was down, but I'm falling. The plane is gone. I can see the plane, the engines. I'm going down. Lightning is. I'm terrified, and I'm hanging on to my briefcase. I figured this was it. I'm going to die. I'm dead. All of a sudden, I realized that, gee, I had an umbrella. I always carried a little umbrella. I keep it in that. I had an umbrella in there, and I got the umbrella out, and I stuck it under my arm. I said, if I open up the umbrella, it'll be destroyed. The pressure, the air pressure will. But I said, I also had a blanket in my thing, and I pulled out my blanket, and I let go of my case. I wasn't heavy because without gravity and free fall, it doesn't weigh anything, but I let it go, and it's floating right next to me. It's over there, and I got my blanket. Now, I always carry my blanket because I suck my thumb, and on my blanket, I have this little felt silk edge, so I suck my thumb, and I rub my finger on the edge, and I go to sleep that way. So I got my blanket, and I got this tucked here, and I'm trying to get, and I got two corners here, and I got two corners of the blanket here. Now it's slowing me down a little bit. Still got to get killed this way because it's really not big enough, but it is catching air and it's slowing me down as I'm falling. So I wanted to get the umbrella because I wanted to get the umbrella in there, and I put it in my mouth, grab my, and I'm holding here and here to get my umbrella, and then it pulled my teeth out. So I lost and I see my false teeth going, oh, there. And I'm going. Now we're up 36,000 feet. The planes, commercial, they're way up there. That's 6 miles down. 6 miles, or 36,000 feet is about 6 miles, a little more than 6 miles, 6.5 miles. So I finally got one corner, and then I got the other corner of the blanket. Then I held them out like this, and then I had to pull them together. It was hard, and I got the umbrella, and I pulled the umbrella out, and I had the umbrella in this hand, and it's inside. I wanted to get it inside the blanket. Then I press the button, and it opens up. It's a huge umbrella, when it opens up, like a golf ball. And now the blanket was holding it and protecting it. So the umbrella didn't break apart. And so now I got the edges, and I'm going, and I'm really starting to slow down now. And I'm looking down. It's starting to take me much longer now, but I'm going fast, and I figured I got to slow myself down some more. Well, by the time I really got organized, I saw the lake. I saw there's a lake over there, and I was over like cliffs or mountains, or I don't know what it was land. But I saw the lake, and I realized that if I pulled in on one end, actually this end here, I would drift to the direction of the lake. And so I was doing that. So as I was falling, I was actually falling and drifting like this all the way down towards the lake. And I figured if I landed in the lake, I'd have a better shot surviving. So I did that, and I kept going. And now I'm up about 1,000 feet, and I'm looking, and I see dock. I don't see any people because it's probably too cold out, but I see there's still boats in the water, and I see floating docks. I said, I ain't going to get near that floating dock. And I'm guiding this thing, and it's working. But I said, I'm still going too fast. And I remembered when I was in special forces and we did parachute jumping, we would pop just before we'd land. We'd pop the parachute. In other words, we pull it in and let it go out again, and so it causes a pop. And you're coming down, and you pop up. Come down, you pop it again. And so every time you do that, you're really stopping. So now I was sort of stopped. And then it would jerk me up a couple of feet, and then I come down. And then it was about 20 feet, 30 feet. I said, I got to time this. And I certainly don't want to hit the dock, the floating dock, but there it was. And I let go of everything. I popped it, jerked me up. And when I was sort of motionless, I let go. And it was like jumping 20 feet, jumped into the water. Wow, was the water cold? And I had all my clothes on. I said, I survived this floor, but I'm gonna drown because I got all this clothes that's weighing me down. And I've got my, but I had survival training and I didn't panic. And they said, you know, never panic. And I was doing the dog paddle and I was getting closer and closer to the dock. And I finally got onto the floating dock. And I got up and I was so exhausted I just laid down. But people from the house saw me and they were looking and looking, and I'm laying there going, huh, you know, so they must have figured out to call 911. And before you know it, the 911 fire guys came down and got in a boat out to the dock, and they got me off. They put me in some kind of stretcher that was tied in, and they took me to the hospital, and I told them my story, and they checked. They didn't believe me. You know, they said, what, you're crazy? You fell out of an airplane? This is the craziest thing we've ever heard. But they called, and the plane said, yes, we lost the passenger. And they said, well, he's alive. He survived. And they said, well, his wife's here. And so I had to talk to Nana. And then I said, no, I said, I'm okay. Believe it or not, I don't know how it happened. So all the special forces training I've had, that I've survived all this, but I am okay.
And you're wearing a special forces hat.
Yeah. Oh, do I have a special forces hat on? Yes. Yes. And so were you ever in an airplane?
Yes.
When?
I'm going to Florida and Ireland.
You went to Florida in an airplane?
Yeah.
And who'd you go to Ireland with?
You.
Oh, that's right.
And Bob. Remember Bob?
Yeah, and Bob went.
And Michael went.
And who's Michael?
I mean,
why are you calling me? Why do you have a habit of calling me by my middle name?
You're talking about Elmo?
Yeah.
Elmo Yo?
Yeah, Elmo Yo.
Yes.
Okay. So you went to Ireland. Did you ever go to Ireland?
Yeah.
Were you sitting next to him in the plane?
Yes.
So
But we had a
what do you
seatbelt
think? You
on
think
and
that's a decent story we could tell people?
Yeah.
So we're very, very lucky that we survived.
He's lucky. Wait,
And
wait, do you still have your umbrella or did that sink?
no, I have the umbrella. Yes, I carry it with me all the time. It's up in the garage if you want to see it.
Oh yeah, that's the one that you showed me.
You show that one I have on a hook there? Yeah, that's the umbrella I use when I
What
travel.
with the blanket?
Well, haven't you seen my blanket that I sleep with?
Yeah.
It's tattered. It doesn't, they used to have silk. I don't suck my thumb anymore, but when I was traveling, I would suck my thumb, And in the plane, I would have my blanket and I'd be sucking my thumb and people were laughing at me. Look at that grown man sucking his thumb in the plane. So I don't suck my thumb in the plane anymore, only when I'm in the hotel room. Did you guys ever suck your thumb?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah. It tastes good.
Yeah, it
I put
does.
chocolate on it. Oh boy, does that taste good. So I think we're going to end this conversation right
Hi,
now.
I'm a pilot. I mean, I'm a captain of a boat.
You're captain, good.
Yeah.